try to look at certainly the irrigation system and how
especially
efficient
with
it's
the historic
performed.
districts. I think that's very key. Advantages also include
Hi, I'm David Huboi, the chairman of the Green Business Committee with the San Benito County Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to Going Green, the television show sponsored by the Chamber to promote and celebrate economic vitality along with environmental sustainability. You know, we support meeting present needs without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs. Today we will hear from guests about resources to save homeowners money through energy upgrades with rebates and incentives, and how to build green, affordable housing with volunteers and low-interest loans. My first guests are Aleah Lawrence Pine and Colin Clark of Energy Upgrade California. Hey, welcome to the show, guys.
Oh, thank you for having us.
It's great to have you. And Aleah, you're the Energy Upgrade Specialist.
Yep.
And Colin, you're the Energy Upgrade Program Manager for Energy Upgrade California. Is that
That's
correct?
true.
Okay. You know, from what I know about Energy Upgrade California, you deliver tools and resources for homeowners to save money through energy upgrades. And also you help the environment create green jobs and revitalize the state's economy. Wow, that's quite a bit on your
It's a
plate.
massive task, yeah.
Perhaps you can share with the viewers a little bit about the purpose and goals of the program.
Sure, so the Energy Upgrade California program is a collaboration between the California Public Utilities Commission, which oversees the utilities, the California Energy Commission, which oversees the municipalities, and the local governments across the state. And the goal really, as you stated, is to create green jobs here in California, to save property owners money and energy, and to help the state accomplish its climate action goals.
That's great. Well, the state certainly could use your help.
Yeah, and they've set some pretty lofty targets, so this program is designed specifically to help them accomplish those targets.
Right. Great. And how is the program funded?
So it's funded through several different sources. So each of those entities that I mentioned earlier, the CPUC, the CEC, and the utilities bring their own funding streams to the program. So the CEC is funded through the stimulus funds that came down from Congress. The utilities bring the ratepayer fees and that we all pay in our PG&E bills every month.
Right.
And they're funding the rebates that Aleah will talk a little bit about later. And the CPUC is directing those ratepayer funds as well.
And I understand there are different packages from basic to advanced and enhanced options. And perhaps, Aleah, that you could tell us a little bit about the different programs and how they relate to energy savings and the rebates.
Yeah. So the fundamentals of the program are that we are offering whole house rebates to folks who want to make their homes more energy efficient. And there are two different pathways to participation. Some folks can participate in our basic path program, and that would qualify that property owner for a full $1,000 rebate, and there's a set list of measures that they would install to get that rebate. And that set of measures is designed to give the average home about a 10% energy efficiency improvement. If you can get full 40% efficiency gain, you'd qualify for that full $4,000. There's also options through the web portal that the program is run through to look at ways to add other kinds of enhancements to the program, such as green building features, water conservation in your landscaping, or potentially once you've addressed energy efficiency in the home, then you can start to look at renewable energy generation as well, things like solar panels.
Great. And I want to talk about that whole house program a little bit later, but I understand there are contractors that the person who wants to, property owner who's interested in doing these upgrades and can contact a contractor, and their contractor has certain credentials. Is that correct? Maybe you could tell us a little bit about the credentials.
So one of the key measures that this program would like to see folks do in their home is air seal the home. And when you air seal a home that also has things like dryers and ovens and other combustion appliances, it's really important that you have a qualified professional doing that work so that they can make sure they're also doing a combustion safety test and they're leaving your home in a safe condition for you to live in it. So in order to get the rebates, you have to use one of our participating contractors, and those can be found again on our statewide web portal. And those contractors have all of the regular licensing and insurance that a contractor would need in the state of California, But they've also attended the Building Performance Institute's Building Analyst course and passed a test, both a field test and a written test, to get that certificate. And that teaches them how to use those diagnostic tools to test a home and find where there's air leakage or where they need increased insulation. It helps them learn those combustion safety testing procedures and that kind of stuff.
And we actually, so the web portal is energyupgradeca.org, and we actually brought a video with us today that shows the experience of a property owner going through that diagnostic testing and shows the type of combustion appliance the safety testing that the contractor goes through.
Great. Well, let's take a look at that video.
One of the really great things about the Energy Upgrade California program is as you make the house more energy efficient, you fix a lot of other problems in the home.
Actually, it was built in 1976 by my parents, and I had contacted a acquaintance who works for a local utility company and asked if they still did energy assessments, and
he recommended Robert from the Energy Upgrade California, and he came by and told us about this great program where we'd actually have people who knew what they were doing and not just saying that they knew what they were doing, who've actually been trained on assessing the house and checking the ducts, the air seals.
If there are hot or cold spots in the home, which can be caused by leaky ducts, which can be caused by bad insulation, which can be caused by bad windows, those get fixed. If there are moisture problems in the home, those get fixed. If there are drafts in the home, those get fixed. And those are all side effects of taking a whole house approach to energy efficiency. If we do sniff a leak, so you'll hear it start beeping a little bit, and if it starts beeping fast, depending on... See, that's not what you want to hear.
when we found out about this particular program, knowing that there were a number of areas of problems around the house, it just seemed like a very convenient one-stop resource that's highly certified, highly reputable, and could give us all the valuable data that we needed in order to make an intelligent decision in order to increase the energy efficiency in our home.
Energy Upgrade California, your rebate is based on a software model that tells you how much more energy efficient your home will be after the upgrades are complete. And if we can show a 40% energy improvement based on the software model, then you get the full $4,000 back. Those red spots are indications that there is no insulation over those lights and hot air is coming in from the attic through those recessed lights into the living space.
Things that we were aware of were verified. Other things that we suspected came into dramatic play of how important the testing and the result generation is for this particular program, and I'm just extremely excited and very impressed with our whole experience today.
If you have a house that's not energy efficient, you're basically pouring money down the drain, so why not have a house that's tuned up, giving you the best comfortable level that you have and costing you less money at the same time.
So what we're doing is we're helping the planet, but we're also helping the homeowner get a more comfortable home, a more durable home. We're addressing the moisture problems, and we're improving indoor air quality, and we're reducing their electric bills. So it's a win-win-win-win-win.
Our house is a very, very, very fine house.
You know, the contractors that perform these tests, and it's called a blower door test, because I'm a green certified building professional, and I kind of learned a little bit about that, but just take a little training to do that and do it properly. Is that correct?
Yeah, I've actually attended the 3-day basic training, which is sort of the precursor to that BPI Building Analyst course, and there is a whole set of tools that you need to go in and do the testing in the home.
You know, I understand that the web portal is presently set up for single-family homeowners, but in the future it'll be geared up for multifamily development. So does that mean like developers can access the portal and learn about these incentives and rebates and all that? Is that
So
correct?
I'd get to that, but I just wanted to add something onto what Aleah had said, which was because getting the trained on doing the blower door tests is intensive, and you have to get this BPI certification, the state's also offering drastically subsidize contractor training programs across the state, and they're taking what could be somewhere between a $3,000 and a $5,000 training and offering it for $65. And if you're a contractor and you're interested in getting this training, you can go to the web portal, which is energyupgradeca.org, and figure out where there's going to be training in your region. There's going to be somewhere around 85 of those trainings across the state in the next 9 months. But back to your larger point on the multifamily and developers getting involved in this program. At this point, it is focused on single-family residential. The intent of the state and the intent of the CPUC and the CEC is to expand that to multifamily and then to commercial eventually. And that web portal will be the resource for contractors and developers and planners and everybody else to go and find out, A, what rebates they can qualify for, B, what the different programmatic components are going to be, and C, what kind of contractors are certified to do the work for them.
Great. I think that'll be very useful, and when you get into multifamily development, every measure you take is magnified, so it has even more of a greater impact. You know, we talk about the whole house approach, and you know, I think my understanding when I was going through the literature is that, you know, to make it work effectively, all these systems need to work together in unison. It kind of reminds me of the green message of synergy, you know, and nature, how nature is fractal and interconnected, and how the built environment, to be effective with energy savings, needs to be in harmony with nature. And that's what really is intriguing to me. Aleah, maybe you could let us know what the most significant challenges a homeowner might face when they consider upgrading their home.
For a typical advanced path job that we've seen come through in PG&E territory, we've seen that the typical job costs about $11,000 and the rebate comes in at about $3,000. And so that leaves the homeowner with, you know, how do I pay for this remaining $8,000? While that's one of our most significant challenges, I think it's also one of the most exciting developments that we've had come through so far with this program. There's another group called the California Homebuyer Fund, and they're offering financing options for these energy efficiency upgrades. And so residents of San Benito County, for example, qualify for 0% fixed interest loans over a 15-year period to cover those remaining $8,000 costs. And CHF also has an additional grant up to $1,250 plus money for that test in, test out process.
Right.
So folks in San Benito County actually have access to rebates closer to about $6,000 and then have 0% interest financing to cover the rest of that. So it becomes really accessible to just about anybody in this community who'd like to participate.
Well, that's great, because you know, we talk about affordability. On the long term, you would talk about the energy savings, but there are also the initial capital outlay that has to be considered when the homeowner goes through these measures.
Absolutely, and what's exciting is that what folks are saving in their utility bill each month can typically cover that monthly payment on the loan, and so they can be even cash flow positive right from the beginning of getting into an energy upgrade in their home.
Great. Well, Colin, how does one get started? What are the action steps?
So there's a couple of different pathways there. So for contractors, they can go and avail themselves of the subsidized training. They get their BPI certification. Then they go through a participation workshop with the utilities to figure out the ins and outs of how you file for a rebate and what sort of quality assurance measures you're going to be held to. And then you get listed on the web portal, and you're one of the few contractors who are qualified to do this work and offer these rebates to the property owners. Okay. For the property owner, there's a couple of different pathways too. One, they can reach out to somebody like Aleah, who's an energy upgrade specialist in the Central Coast. They can find those resources on either the Ecology Action website or on the Energy Upgrade California website. And that's the next one. Those property owners can go and teach themselves about this program on the Energy Upgrade California website, which is energyupgradeca.org.
Great, great. Well, not only applies to contractors, but homeowners and lending institutions and
Absolutely.
Government entities and a whole range of resources.
Yep.
Well, I want to express my appreciation for coming on the show, and Energy Upgrade California seems to be user-friendly and resource for property owners and anyone who's interested in the long-term cost savings, and also being an advocate for helping our environment. So. Colin and Aleah, thanks again for coming on the show. I'd like to bring you guys back and see how your program is progressing.
It's been a pleasure.
Sounds
Thanks
great.
for having us.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Take care. welcome back to Going Green. And with me in the studio today is Jennifer Simmons, and she is the Executive Director of Habitat for Humanity, Silicon Valley. Welcome to the show, Jennifer.
Oh, thank you.
It's great to have you on.
Great to be here.
You know, let's begin, Jennifer. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about Habitat for Humanity, Silicon Valley, how long it has been in existence, and maybe you have a mission statement.
Sure. We are actually celebrating our 25th anniversary this year. So we've been building in Santa Clara County for 25 years. In that time, we've completed 50 homes. And actually, I will even say 56, because this week we are officially done with 6 homes in Morgan Hill that will be dedicated to the families later on in August.
Great.
And then I guess our mission is we help families build and own their own homes using volunteer labor and price the house so it's affordable to them.
Right. And we talk about affordable housing and the need for affordable housing, and my understanding, I was reading the statistics, is that only 18% of families can afford a median-priced home in Santa Clara Valley. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah.
So we work with families that cannot usually qualify for traditional financing. They're very hardworking families that really we need in our society to keep things going, but they don't earn enough money to afford a conventional loan. So, for example, on our Morgan Hill project, we have a couple of people who work for the city of Morgan Hill, a postal carrier, someone who has a small business, all great people who are, we need to help things run, but they just can't afford a house on the market. So what we do is we work with volunteers to help build that home, and then we sell it to them using a 30-year no-interest mortgage at a rate they can afford.
Great. No matter how hard those families work, they just can't save the money to put it on a down payment for
Correct.
a house.
Sometimes when we're doing the family selection piece, we find that they have, for their income range, quite a bit of savings, but just not nearly as enough as you would need to buy a house here in Silicon Valley.
Yeah. And then what happens, a lot of times when families can't afford a home, they move out of the urban centers, and then what you have is a condition called urban decay.
Yes.
And that creates sprawl, and not only that's one concern. The other concern is the impact, negative impact to their family structure.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, if you're spending an hour plus each way on the freeway, it's not good for your home life, not good for the environment, not good for the community. Right. We really target empty infill lots within the existing community and turn those into beautiful homes.
Yeah, it's so important, not only to the environment, but to the city structure, but to family stability.
Definitely.
We talk. It seems to be a real challenge to build a green, affordable house. Because number one, the cost to build an affordable house is almost the same as when you build a median-priced home. And then, as we had our previous guests, there is an initial capital outlay to implement these green features. So. It is kind of very difficult, presents some difficulty factors to do a green, affordable house, wouldn't you say?
It is. We recently, however, looked at what was the cost for us to build green, and on a per unit basis, it's more, but not so much so that we would give up that added benefit to our families. We actually started building green more because we not only wanted the homes that we built to be affordable on the day that we sold them to the families, but to make sure that they could afford, say, their water bills, their energy bills, and live in a nice, safe environment. So we have wonderful partnerships with people like PG&E who help provide all the solar on Habitat homes. Plus, we've looked at how we can switch to products, say like our concrete. It all has fly ash in it, so that it's, one, a recycled product and much stronger. You name it. We do tankless water heaters, whole house fans, oriented strand board type wood throughout the home. So we try to make it green from the bottom up and all throughout.
Do you have any solar PVs on the roof?
We do. Every
Really?
house that we've built, I'd say in the last 5 years, has solar on it, and
Wow.
we've actually, through another program with with PG&E called SASH, we've gone back through our existing housing stock and helped them put solar on their homes.
I guess it helps to use Energy Star appliances.
Yes, we use Energy Star.
That extra insulation in the walls. And,
Yes. In fact, our next project, which is going to be in Cupertino, we're doing a very engineered structural layout so that the walls will be a little thicker than normal, so we can add in additional insulation to make sure that house is even more airtight.
And a lot of times when you talk about insulation in the attic, it helps to have those HVAC ducts in the insulated space. Save a lot of energy that way.
Yes. So we find that, for us, the energy efficiency starts usually at the time that we're laying the project out. So how can we orient the buildings so that they could take advantage of our natural resources? And then how can we design the building itself so it's as green as it can be? And sometimes that means going from larger spaces in between studs so we don't use as much lumber to raised heeled trusses where we can fit in more insulation in the attics.
Great, okay. Getting back to the cost, the affordable housing cost, so I guess that's when your volunteers really help reduce the labor costs in building these homes.
Definitely.
Yeah, and when we talk about sweat equity, maybe you could tell us how important that is.
Sure. Each family that we work with, in lieu of a down payment, has to provide at least 500 hours of sweat equity. So they're selected, different from other programs or when you buy a house at the very end, they're selected when we start building the home so they can actually help build their own home. Then from there, about 80% of the labor on that project is provided by volunteers. So we have a huge savings when it comes to labor. And then lastly, we sell the home to the homeowner using a 30-year no-interest mortgage supplied by Habitat. So that interest savings also helps them afford the home.
So you address affordability not only from the initial cost aspect with your low-interest mortgage loans and your volunteer labor, but then also with energy savings and the long-term affordability.
Yes.
So you address all that affordability from the long-term to the short-term.
Yes.
So that's great. Maybe tell us what your vision or future, what lies ahead for Habitat for Humanity.
Sure. I think a couple of things. One, we're always trying to build more. The housing need in our area is so great that the more that we can do, the better. We work with families who earn less than 50% of the area median income. So for them, this is Habitat's really their only opportunity to own a home. But as many of us know, there's a lot of existing housing stock. So what we're trying to get into in the future is more of looking at an entire neighborhood and seeing if there's an opportunity not only for us to build new homes, but purchase some of the existing housing stock and help rehab that into Habitat homes.
Wonderful. And I understand you're currently in Milpitas, but you'll be moving in the future?
Yes, our administrative offices are in Milpitas, but we're excited because we have an opportunity to open what is called a restore in San Jose. And the city of San Jose is building what they're calling the San Jose Environmental Innovation Center, and it will house a Habitat restore, an incubation center for green startup technology companies to develop new green technology, and then permanently house the Santa Clara County Hazardous Waste Recycling Program. The whole place is going to be a showcase for green technology. So anyone in the county can go there and see different solar types, different hardscape types, all sorts of green products, and kind of touch and feel them.
It's like a clearinghouse then for green,
Yes.
And I'm really interested in that think tank that's taking place there.
Yes.
You know who's involved in that?
I believe
scientists and architects?
And I think they're mainly focusing on vehicles. So it should be really interesting.
Yeah, we'll see what they come up with. The restore again then, a little bit more about that.
Sure.
You can tell us what that is for our
Yes,
viewers?
it's really exciting. A restore is a reuse center of construction materials. So I liken it to Home Depot meeting Goodwill, a Goodwill of construction materials. We are constantly offered donations, say if you're remodeling your kitchen and you have extra cabinets or a sink, this would be a place you could take that and donate it. Then we would resell it, and all the funds that are generated from that venture would go into helping us build more affordable housing. So we estimate in the first couple of years that we'll divert about 2,000 tons of waste from our landfills.
Yeah.
So that, I think, is the most exciting part of the restore,
yes.
because instead of you dumping that old cabinet or dishwasher or whatnot, you would have a place to take it, and someone else could then take advantage of it and use it in their home.
Right, and then when you can reuse those resources, it certainly saves on the environment.
Definitely.
And also it saves on the cost of and the impact on our landfills. That's great.
Yes.
So you have all these things going on in the environmental center there. That's really good. And so Habitat for Humanity seems to fit right into that niche.
Definitely, definitely. We're very green-minded, and I think especially with the Restore's vision of diversion, it'll be a wonderful fit for us.
Great, wonderful. When is that move going to take place?
Well, we are opening a virtual store in our Milpitas location this summer. So check our website, which is habitatsiliconvalley.org, and you can buy items as soon as this summer and donate items. And then in about 18 months, we'll be moving to the site in San Jose.
Great, that's great. Well, you know, I think that I'm very impressed with the work that Habitat for Humanity Silicon Valley chapter has done, and I want to wish you all the luck in the world in the future. And,
Thank you.
And I want to thank you for coming on the show today, Jennifer. And you know, good luck for achieving the goals of providing green, affordable housing.
Great. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're wonderful. Thank you. Hi, welcome back. You know, the key word on today's show is affordability. We addressed it on the short term with Habitat for Humanity and how they can reduce capital outlay with volunteers and sweat equity and low interest mortgage loans, and also on the long term with Energy Upgrade California and how they reduce the energy costs in a home. And they're also there with their rebates and their incentives. And I learned a lot on today's show, and I really thank you for joining me as we learn together on how to go green. Thanks for watching. See you next time.